We're flying first class.
Oh boy.
You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.
This was the episode I remembered. Like
Like-
when it, I
like
was
when it got good?
I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, I'm in it. I remember watching it the first time.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Will.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is So I'm Watching Gossip Girl, Season 1, Episode 3, Poison Ivy.
I get it now. It took me a minute because, well, like almost all of them are like either exact names or puns on the names of like classic movies. And so Poison Ivy's not really a classic, but it's a cult classic. And so I was like, Poison, I was like, nothing like that happens and no one's seducing anyone's dad. And then I was like, oh, Ivy League schools. And then I was like halfway through the episode when I was like, oh, I get it.
But no, I remember from opening up with the choir singing the seminal Fergie classic, Glamorous.
It's so funny.
Flossie.
The Constance Billard. I stumbled over the name of the girls' school in the last one.
So it is Ivy Week, which I guess means that representatives for the Ivy League schools are coming to the school to like pass out information, or
it's just
it's like a social thing.
Yeah, it's so that you can like make an impression. It's what happens at prep school. This would have never happened at our public school. This happens at private prep school, fancy prep schools. Like,
keeping things in the family.
Yeah, these are like feeder schools to the Ivy Leagues. They like, these are the people that go to Ivy Leagues.
It's a real, this is such a blind spot for me because I never like, I mean, I went to film school, you know what I mean? And my mom like encouraged things, education, all that, but she was never like a taskmaster when it came to grades or stuff like that. And so it's like, and yet here we are.
That was me.
So there's so many of these things that it's like, I know these words, but the customs are very unfamiliar to me.
So it's like, I mean, the thing also too is like, it gets into the thing that we used to make fun of Gossip Girl about when we were watching it the first time around, which is that like all of these kids, like at one point, Vanessa gets like a Rhodes Scholar or some shit. It's like stupid. So these kids are like way overprivileged in what they get, where it's like, absolutely none of their futures are made or broken by this meeting. Like, not even Dan. He's going to St. Jude's, and so it is more likely that he will get accepted to an Ivy League, even if he doesn't, like, get FaceTime with the Dartmouth.
But there's also, there's an understanding that they're going to at least pretend that they're not privileged. So I think that's why they have to go through the formalities of so much of this thing, so they can at least feign that they like.
Sure, except for like the Dartmouth rep isn't going to like PS 195. You know what I mean? Like they're only going to St. Jude's.
No, but I'm saying like the kids have to like care about being what is the title? The
usher.
The usher, yeah. They have to care about like because they're going. I mean, Nate is going to Dartmouth, whether he wants to or not.
Let's be real though. Which is what I always think in shows that jump from high school to college. Every single child on this show is going to New York University. None of them are leaving the state, let alone the island. So, like Nate wants to go to USC. They're all going to go to Columbia or NYU. That's just the way it is.
But so the point I was making is that they have to like pretend to care about impressing the reps because it's like they need to at least put on airs
about it.
And I mean, something like Blair, I would believe, is actually qualified or on the right side of qualified.
They're all qualified. They all go to this school.
I mean, she gets good grades. Like, she's an accomplished.
Blair is like it. Blair is to Gossip Girl as Hermione Granger is to Hogwarts or Harry Potter.
So, so basically, Serena wants to go to Brown. Nate wants to go to Dartmouth. Blair is trying to go to Yale. Chuck has decided that he wants to go to Princeton because the rep was hot, I guess.
The rep was a lady.
Yeah.
Like a medium attractive middle-aged lady.
And Nate straight sabotaged his own like chances, and his dad like swooped in and pushed him into it because Dan is being so mean to Nate this whole episode. Dan,
okay. Yes, you're totally right. Nate is a puppy dog. I'm remembering as we go. Nate is a golden retriever, and Dan is like, I don't know, a Yorkie or something, snippy and dickish, and just like not a nice puppy.
He just like he's making so many assumptions about these people, and he's mad at them for making assumptions about him. And it's like,
so I think by like episode 4, I lose track of how many times Dan has said, "You people just don't understand how it is for me," or something in that iteration. And it's like, you also like, I obviously I don't love the like poor little rich girl, poor little rich boy like trope or whatever, which is exactly what Nate is. But at the same time, it's like if Nate and Dan just sat down and were like, I wish we could switch places, we might have a Freaky Friday on our hands instead of whatever is actually happening.
Well, they do end up becoming friends.
They do.
Like actual friends.
They're like BFFs for a minute there.
Because I thought they should have.
Oh, yeah. Because I feel like maybe that's in the books.
Dan has a boyfriend.
Dan has a boyfriend in the books?
Or like Dan dates a guy for like it's a short stint.
Bit, yeah. So I don't know. It's just is that kind of thing where Nate is like, you don't know anything about me and how much I wish I didn't have to do this. And like Dan can only see it from his version, which is, well, I'm poor and therefore more righteous than you. And it's like, not necessarily.
But furthermore,
also poor.
Well, yeah, and furthermore, it's like Dan ends up there anyways, like as he always does. And yes, I know part of that is show machinations.
Yeah,
but
also I can't stress enough how much 0 people go to Dartmouth in this show. So, like, is
that? But that also is a season 1 like thing.
Of course.
But because Rufus takes a break from seemingly eating bowls of just bolognese sauce.
Because I thought he was eating chili at first. I thought he was going to be like, I made amazing chili, you got to taste it. But then he was just like, this bolognese out of the park. And I was like, you're just
But it's the wooden spoon, implying
a wooden spoon out of a bowl.
Implying that the meal has not been completed yet.
Yeah, like he's still stirring it and like.
So he's taking a break to just enjoy the fruits of his labor. And then he takes a break from that to bully
Lily, his
son, and his own way into this event.
So then Rufus, now an early 90s alt rock musician, plays in a jazz trio at Ivy Week at his son's school. Yeah, there's like one little across the board thing.
It's very stupid. Yeah. It's very funny. We have Eric back in rehab.
Still in rehab.
We are back with Eric
with him
in rehab. The mastery of tone that the show has with Lily being a good and terrible mother, because they're going to family therapy.
Yeah.
So it's there, but all the comments are about how she doesn't care or isn't
and
there.
She's not listening.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
But I'm not entirely sure what she's meant to, like, what is the issue here? We know that Eric tried to kill himself.
Sure. But she's hiding him away. Like, Serena is not wrong.
Yeah, but what is he, 14?
Yeah, he's about the same age as Jenny.
And, I mean, I understand Serena's argument that you can't treat him like a dirty secret.
Yeah.
But I don't think the opposite side of that is by advertising it. I guess it's that he's just not allowed to leave.
So that's the thing, is there's a difference between advertising it and keeping it in the family versus deliberately telling everyone in your social class that he is with his aunt in Miami, which is a deliberate lie.
Well, you have to explain where he is. People are going to want to know. This is a nosy bunch.
He's feeling poorly. He's at a facility.
I'm on Lily's side here, because that's gonna attract more attention, and it's not worked through yet. Sure. Whatever this issue is.
Well, it is mostly, he's been there for months now.
Okay. Well, no, I thought it was why Serena came back.
Oh, maybe it was. Although that scar was really healed. It was pretty healed. That was like a month's old scar.
Okay.
But also,
Well, this is week 3 by TV logic.
Yeah, but also this is deliberately exactly how Blair was able to get this information to like out Serena as an alcoholic or like needing help from this facility. And it's like, if you had only just told everybody it was Eric, this whole scenario would have been avoided.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was playing both sides of that argument.
Yeah.
I just realized.
Yeah. So it's like that kind of thing where like in trying to keep it a secret, Lily left herself open to an attack from within because she didn't think Blair would do something like that.
But that ends up being crucial for this episode because it is all fun and games until it's not.
Yeah.
And that is something that this show handles very, very well. And I think ultimately that is the joy of the show. It's not rich people behaving badly. It's sort of the blurring of lines because Blair, and I mean, she's fighting. Like, these are not death knells, but they're certainly...
No, but she's going hard. Like, she has Chuck surveil Serena to find out where she's going. And that's how they find out she's going to the Ostroff Center.
And then she outs Serena.
And they just assume that it's for Serena.
Yeah, she outs Serena in front of everybody, and Serena handles it really well.
She takes it like a champ.
So well that Blair has to sort of has to usher off stage because she's like, okay, well, now you're just working this in your favor.
Okay, bye.
But there is just a moment in both the writing and in particular in Leighton's performance where when Eric approaches her and asks if they can speak, you see her assessing the situation.
Yeah.
Where as soon as Eric is on, like, she's aware that Eric is an enemy pawn.
Yeah.
But also she is temporarily, her like guards or her shields are down, and she's like,
well, because he's like a kid, like young.
Well, yeah, and she's like, well, let me, and it again, it's like I think she would do any and everything she could to hurt Serena in that moment, but Lily and Eric are not her
target. Yeah, and I do love that is because you were right. We were both sort of right because I was like, I think it takes 2 or 3 episodes. Or 3 or 4 episodes, and you were like, I think it's episode 2, but it is like the very end of this episode where Serena and Blair like make peace for the first time. And I think that's...
Well, and I love that exchange where when Serena's like, I mean, earlier when Serena's like, okay, you got me, can we call this off? And Blair's like, oh, you're just sad because today you lost.
Yeah.
And so it's like, so in Blair's mind, it's like, this is
ongoing. I can do this all day. No, it's really good because it also reminds me of... an early season 3 episode of Buffy where Buffy has like left for the summer and she finally comes back and Willow is like, I needed you. Like stuff was happening to me and you just left. And like, that's something that I'm going to have to get over, that we're going to have to get over. And like, it's very similar to Blair where Blair is like, Nate's acting weird. My dad left my mom for another man, and like all of this stuff. Where
and we're given.
I needed your support.
The audience, are given all of that information in the opening minutes of the pilot episode, but it's played as gossip because it's narrated to us by Kristen Bell. Yeah. So we don't, and we don't see Blair sweat. So we don't think anything of it until she's reframing it, and so there is something sort of jarring about like this character that we have seen and think we understand actually kind of being like, I was lashing out because I was wounded. Yeah. And also, and the show really explores this, especially in this first season, I think first and second season, but Blair has to work so hard just to hold a candle to Serena.
Because Serena has this innate thing. To quote one of our favorite writers, Jacob Clifton, she's sort of floating 3 feet above the air in a cloud of patchouli. And so she just has this sort of like innate ease of going through the world in a way that like...
Not to say she doesn't have struggles, but...
She does have struggles, but also the reason Blair struggles so much is because she doesn't think who she is at her core is enough. And so she tries to be something above or more than what she is. And that's where she gets the struggle because she's fighting against her natural instinct.
Well, and I would even go as far as to say that I think some of that is correct. Yeah. I do think that Blair is the type of person that has to work to reach her full potential.
Sure.
But she's currently in a place of overwork.
Yeah, she has to work to reach her full potential, which is fine. It's like, that's the thing is like, if Serena actually worked, she would reach a potential we could only dream of. But Blair has to work to reach like a regular potential. And I think you're right. She's overworking in a way that it's just like she's a machine that's like whirring for dear life.
And I mean, she is 16. This is when you start figuring that shit out.
Yeah.
And on top of that, but the beginning.
Yeah.
Like many people, it will take a good 10 to 15 years. And I mean, you're always kind of growing and working, but still.
You should be.
So it is very, very the use of Eric here was excellent.
Oh yeah.
And I remember being sort of giddy the first time it happened, and I was still just as giddy this time when Eric and Jenny start becoming friends.
Yeah.
That is such a good connection to have. And I do, those Humphreys, man, they get in there. They really, really do.
They're good at social climbing, but Jenny is the only one who is aware of what she's doing. Jenny is trying to social climb, and Rufus and Dan are like doing it against their better judgment.
What did Rufus say to Dan?
Oh, I don't remember already.
It was something about like we're men. We don't show.
Oh, we don't like have feelings or something.
We don't show our emotions. Okay, for starters, the Humphrey men are not men in that way. And second of all, they do nothing but show their emotions. They are a butthurt duo.
How many doors does Dan slam in this episode alone?
They are a moody.
Yeah. Dan is like the passive aggressivest bitch on this show. He's worse than Blair most of the time.
I guess that's the broad. That's mostly it.
No, we have to talk about the captain gaslighting Nate about their like running in
I was gonna say we have Nate and the notion that man thinks that he's
first of all
thinking of holding candles.
that he thinks he can outrun his 16-year-old son in the first place, and then having to blame losing on his son cutting him off to the point that Nate changes his story and says, I didn't mean to. Disgusting. Although mildly refreshing coming from male characters. That's usually some sexist bullshit we get from. Sure.
So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, but
my
come
dude.
on, man.
If there's one thing Nate is a specimen in
athletics
and being the younger, more virile.
Yeah. We also had a really fun field hockey scene with Blair.
Yeah, does it ever happen again?
No.
Okay.
But it's good. I mean, it's like fun that and then Blair totally fakes an injury, which is hilarious.
Well, because Serena called her on it.
Yeah.
They are very, I think they're archetypes for a reason.
Yeah.
They're very, very well-crafted versions of the characters that they play.
Definitely.
So was there anything with the Doctor? I guess just the Dr. Ostroff was the connection between outing Serena / Eric. We also don't mild spoilers, but I forgot that Eric being gay was not
up front.
Yeah. I keep waiting for all of his gays, and I was like, oh, isn't that like in
season
that's 2 or 3?
2, yeah. I think it's a season 2.
He's like, doesn't he disappear from the show?
Yeah.
That always bummed me out.
We dyes his hair brown first.
Well, his hair is just like brown. It's dyed blonde. He has a real unfortunate like speak to the manager haircut. Especially the scene where he was like sitting in bed when
Serena.
Sure. No, Lily. Somebody comes in.
Okay.
And it's like, but I always liked Connor Paolo. I think he is cute. Very, very cute. And it's funny because it's especially, I mean, the dyed hair isn't bad, but it does make him a Vander Woodson.
Yeah.
And in ways that his height does not.
Yeah. Because it's like little Connor Paolo standing next to like Amazon's Kelly Rutherford and Blake Lively.
Yeah, I think that's most of the talking points, at least the important ones for that. So if we miss anything, we'll tack it on.
We'll get it
next week.
All right. So. Bye.
I'll never tell. You know you love me. XOXO. Gossip Girl.